Welcome to Seeing with Your Soul, the podcast aimed to inspire you to find your voice and become the best, truest, and most authentic version of yourself. Spiritually intimate, soul-to-soul conversations, life-changing insights, and spiritual teaching and healing. Real, raw, unfiltered. Join your host, Tisha Michelle.
Welcome and welcome back to another episode of Seeing with Your Soul with me, Tisha Michelle, your host. Hey guys, what's up? How are you? All right, so today I just wanted to pop in and I wanted to talk to you guys about values, like our values. But let me just share a little where this even came from. So I was a part of still am a member of an association, and I helped them start it from the beginning. So I played a pretty big role, in the establishment of the different, what do you want to say, the different components to it and stuff. And I put my all into it, y'all. Like I was actually neglecting other things that I needed to take care of. Actually, you know what, keep it 100. I was neglecting my own business and my own things that I had going on. And I was so much of my time was within this organization. And I did things individually, I did things collective. And one of the people that we would be like our fearless leader, that person, I worked very closely with that person. I mean, we've had some personal conversations. And when I say personal conversations, meaning just, even from when I was in a space of kind of doubting some things in my life, we had those exchange and of encouragement, and even to 2 o'clock in the morning, being on the phone, with this person working on something, behind the scenes where I was out of town. I was in New York with my New York family, but yet I was still making sure this was taken care of and just doing like all these things, right? And I did it because I wanted to do it. And it felt good, and I seen the progress, and it's like I love the transformation. I love to take something, um, say nothing, a blank a canvas, and then create something. And especially when it's like tangible, and it was dope. And so then we fast forward, I don't know, maybe a year or so later, year and a half and all, and this big blow up happens, right? With, um, me and two other people. And I don't want to say against that one person, but that's how their perception is, that they seen that it was against. So me being in typical Tisha fashion, I've just always been like, when it comes to like the if I watch the shows and there's like an underdog, I'm going for the underdog. I'm going for the one that people have counted out, and if you're bullying somebody and they not speaking up for themselves, I'm gonna speak up for you. And that's just always been me. And it's always been like this fine line of like, yo, just fall back, mind your business, let them handle it. If they don't handle it, that's their lesson. You can't learn lessons for people. But then that other part of me is like, F that. Nah, you ain't gonna be talking to them like that. No, like this is what this is. This is what this is. And that is what happened. There was a particular person who is so nice and so humble and has done way more work than I've done. And I did a lot of stuff, did way more work. And it's like, this person was slighting that person. So I had to step in. So I stepped in, and when I said something, I'm always going to be respectful, even if I'm saying it in a firm way. And I was basically taking up for this person. But then I was like, let me just say all this other stuff there too. I'm thinking this is all love. Like everything that we done been through with building this whole organization, we can have these conversations. And even if we're disagreeing and stuff, it's just what it is. We're going to air it out and keep it moving, right? And continue to grow and stuff. Well, that didn't happen. Like he felt attacked and all these things. And I get it in like this sense. So I just said what I had to say, but it was like what I said was the person wasn't even listening to actually hear, just listening in a sense just to respond. So it was like everything that I had said and what was just completely like dismissed and all. So I was like, you know what? I said what I said. This is where we're at, and I'm going to go ahead and get off of this call now because we're talking in circles, and it's just at this point it's not serving anyone. And I got off. That was that. And then something else ended up happening, and I was in charge of a particular thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to finish my commitments, which is I'm going to finish my commitment because I committed to this. But after that, I'm no longer going to do this so we can find somebody else. And I did it very professional. I sent an email where I laid it out and all of that. Well, this happened, I want to say, I don't know if it happened early this year. I can't even remember. So if it didn't happen in like January of this, I don't know. Y'all, I don't know. If it wasn't January of this year, then it was the end of last year. Time is just all like together. But I can tell you it's been over 6 months. Well, I felt some type of way because that person never even responded to the email, never said anything about the whole thing, never reached out and like let's have a conversation. And I told the other ladies that was a part of it, I said my feelings wasn't hurt because I didn't allow that person that close because I'd be keeping people at a distance. Like you think that we super close, but you still at a distance, right? It's a select few people that I even allow in. That's just how I've always been. However, it was just to this point where it was like the level before your feelings are hurt, where you can just be like, I feel some type of way. Well, that's where I was at. I was like, I feel some type of way. And one of the ladies was like, do you feel like you need him to give you like an apology or to have a conversation? And I was like, I really don't think so. I had to reflect. And I was like, I really don't think that it's that. Like I definitely don't need anybody for it to do those things. But what it was I was like, damn, after everything that I did, all those things that I did, that's it. And then when I reflected, I realized is that I wasn't valuing what I brought to the table. I was devaluing it because he hadn't even reached out. And he basically was like, I don't care. Oh, well, jingle bell. And I started questioning, like, oh, well, what I did was that not enough? Like, you don't even like appreciate it and blah, 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 blah. But because I was feeling that way and I was like, I don't want to feel like this. And I said, wait a minute, what is happening? There has to be a lesson in this for myself, as well as the main lesson is for him. He's the main character. We were all just playing supportive roles. But in playing these supportive roles, there lies a lesson in there. And the lesson was values. How do you value yourself, Tisha? All the things that you did you do it because you needed praise or a reward or something? Or did you do it because you actually believed in what you thought this mission was? And when I got really truthful, it was like, no, I did this because I genuinely wanted to. And I believed in the organization and the mission and what it was supposed to be, the intent behind it. But in that moment, I devalued everything that I did because of another human being who was on a journey just like me. And I was like, wait a minute. How did I just allow an individual person to cancel out what I did and how I felt about me? And like I said, what I brought to the table and the work that I did and just showing up as and being me. And I said, oh, wait. Well, where else is this showing up in my life that I am allowing other people and other things to define who I am? And I said, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm a teacher of this, but we teach what we most need to learn, right? So I had to go back and reflect, and different scenarios throughout my life was popping up. And it was all triggered from this. While I thought this was like a terrible thing and I can't believe this happened and all this da 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 and stuff, but in actuality, there was a lesson in there for me. And it was for me to reflect on my values and make sure that I'm defining who I am and not another person, not the society, not my past, not what I think my future might be, not the traumas. None of those things defined who I am. None of those things is for me to look at how I value myself based off of that. It's like, no, how do you feel about you, Tisha? The listeners, how do you feel about you? Not anybody else. So I wanted to just share that story with you because no matter where you're at on your journey, whether you're in the heal phase, whether you're in the line phase, whether you're in the glow phase, and yeah, for my new people, that's what my foundation, my company is Heal, Align, and Glow, and for the OG people, you already know. So like whatever phase that you're in, all of that is great, but it doesn't define who you are. You get to define who you are. And sometimes those things may change and all, right? So I wanted to just give you a couple of tips. If you have been in a season or you're in a space where you're maybe feeling less than, or maybe feeling like you should have done more, or you could do more, or because someone didn't compliment you and say, thank you for doing that, or this was amazing, or whatever it was, as long as you felt good about what you did and your intentions behind it, then that's all that matters. So the first thing I would just say is definitely the self-awareness and like reflection. Like, I want to encourage you to, like, on a regular basis, like, reflect on your own values, your aspirations, your strengths. And of course, you can do this through like journaling. You can meditate. You could just take a lot of quiet moments just to kind of check in with yourself and just kind of assess to see what truly matters to you, right? Because the more you understand yourself, the better you can identify when your worth is being influenced by something external, like, or an external opinion, right? The second thing, definitely set boundaries. Definitely set boundaries, right? So you want to set boundaries so that way you can protect your self-worth, and that includes saying no. Remember, no is a complete sentence, period, right? So you want to be able to be in a position where you can say no to situations or relationships, anything that undermines your values or your self-esteem. So I just want to encourage you to like communicate your boundaries, like assert them, and do it without guilt. We don't need no guilt, period. And I just want you to know that by recognizing like your own um values and your boundaries, it'll help you to like maintain like just that self-worth, right? And the third thing is I would say creating that inner validation, right? Like looking at like the source of the self-validation and knowing that that comes from within, and it does not come from seeking like constant approval from other people. So by this is where you want to celebrate your own achievements. You want to practice some self-compassion. You want to nurture yourself with that positive self-talk. Even if you're joking, you don't want to joke and be like, I'm so dumb, I'm so sick. No, you don't want to do that at all, because the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between real and imaginative, right? So we want to nurture that thing, right? And now, and I also want you to know that while the external validation can be affirming, just know that the true self-worth, it stems from that deeper level of appreciation of your own worth and capabilities. Because anything on that outside, that's just like a little bonus, but all of those things actually come from within. So I just wanted to drop in and just share that with you guys. And yeah, until next time, love you guys. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Seeing with Your Soul. If something you heard resonated with you, feel free to rate, review, and share with others. If you are looking to go deeper, you can connect with Tisha Michelle on Instagram at Mindset Slayer, or visit www.healingalignglow.com.